was inspired this week. There were two moms who, three actually, who mentioned that their kids are swearing, and they're not listening. What do they do? And that's exactly what we're going to cover today. There we go. Hopefully you can see that. So stubborn child swearing. Is your stubborn child swearing? If so, you are in the perfect place. And I'm going to tell you what to do about it. So welcome. I'm delighted you're here, and I'm excited for this really quick parenting tips training. And in this video, what we're going to do is we're going to cover the best ways to extinguish those four-letter words from your stubborn child's vocabulary. And also, we might even discuss here whether you even should. And now I am all for dialing down rude child behavior. But if you have a bona fide strong-willed child, or maybe you even have heard from some expert that your child is oppositional disorder, has oppositional defiance disorder, or you just know they're incredibly spirited, we want to make sure that how you're reacting and how you're responding isn't actually adding fuel to the fire where they want to swear more. Sound good? So before we dive in, if I haven't met you, hi there, I'm Kelly from joyfullyparenting.com, and I have the great honor of helping moms and some special dads too inspire their stubborn child to listen, but without yelling, using bribes, or caving in, so everyone can finally enjoy a peaceful and fun home. If you like this video, please like it and pass it on. If you have a friend out there you know is struggling with their strong-willed child, stubborn kiddo, please pass it on. So just this past week, I was 3 of my Stubborn Child Solutions Facebook members share their frustrations around swearing. And when I asked one of them, Stephanie, what she had tried for the cussing and not listening, she said this: I've tried telling her neither it's okay and that she can't say those words, and give her different words to say. And I've tried telling her that she has to listen to mama because she's dependent on me to listen to me, but neither is working. I've even taken rewards away from her too. So I just want you to reflect upon, what do you do to get your child to do what you want them to do? And here's the clincher, and it's really important. So if you've gone elsewhere, you're multitasking, come on back to me. The clincher is this: the more we want control over our child, the less we have. And this is a struggle, because I'm not saying you shouldn't have control over the situation sometimes. But as a reminder, the only thing you can control, the only person on this planet you can truly control is you, the one who smiles back at you in that mirror every morning. That if you push so hard and if you're wanting to control them so much, often you will just keep adding fuel to that fire where they will fight you on everything. And you are too good, too wonderful to have that happen to. So if you are stuck in that boat, I suggest you take a little step back and really ask, is this working? And remind yourself, who can I control? And what is it that I control? I can only control me. And when I think about I can only control me, there's only 2 things you can really control, which is your thoughts and actions. And today we're really going to be talking about mostly how you're reacting to what they're doing, especially when it comes to swearing. So, pardon me. Oops, I'm going to go back there for a second. So taking away privileges like devices is super common. It's the go-to. The trouble is they rarely work to teach stubborn kids the lesson. If you had an agreeable child who, you're at the playground, you say, hey, it's time to go for home, and they just come home happily, without question, my guess is if you're on this video right now, if you're watching me right now, that is not your child. And it rarely works when you take away privileges. And the reason it doesn't work for stubborn kids is this: strong-willed children are often righteous. Oopsie, let's go move this down a bit. How about yours? So they're very aware of what's fair. And if you use discipline to punish them in a way that they didn't see was coming, they'll often quickly say some version of this: but that isn't fair. And then they freak out, meltdown, stubborn child drama they could win an Academy Award for. The key is we need to manage our reactions. So instead of being combative, we want to do 2 things. And one of them, both of them actually, what helps them is to put on almost like your alien Halloween costume. And imagine if you were an alien coming down to Earth and the first person you encountered on this planet was your child. You'd be curious. You're like, what is that? And the word that is coming out of their mouth, the 4-letter word, whatever it is, they might just be like, huh, what an interesting sound that is. But it's not all the story of negative, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. They're so rude. If they do this to my mother-in-law, she's going to freak out. What's going to happen? She sounds exactly like, the trade I just had at my home doing all the work. Whatever it is, we want to dial down that storytelling, because the more amped up we are, the less prepared we are to actually handle it in a way where they will be inspired to not swear. So the first thing is this we want to be doing is what I call using spotlight parenting. And this comes from step 2 of my 9-step peaceful parenting path program. So what do I mean by spotlight parenting? Basically, I invite you to focus on what you love, what you like in the situation. See, most of us, when we get triggered, we will fight our kids and we will focus hugely on what it is we don't like. We'll start to go into a huge lecture, telling them about bad words. We've gone over this before. How many times do I have to tell you? If you do that, if you say it one more time, you're not going to have your iPad tonight, blah, 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 blah. The challenge with that is many stubborn kids will just go deaf. They'll totally tune us out, and they can be exceptional at this, but they won't learn any lesson other than don't listen. Don't listen to them. So anytime we're coming from that combative energy, we are encouraging our children to actually not listen to us. And the trouble here is that many stubborn kids use swearing as their trump card. So if they find out what it is that bugs us, it's their way to control us. It's their way to get some drama going. So by giving it lots of attention, the swearing, I mean, by lecturing about it, talking about it, saying, what word could you use instead? You could say this, you could say that, blah, 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 blah. You are feeding the swearing monster that you don't like. Make sense? So one of the best things to do for swearing is to ignore it. This is especially true for preschoolers. And it can be super hard to do. But this means no laughing, which is sometimes very difficult for preschoolers, and not bringing much attention to it. That's right. Like, you want to just take the spotlight right off and start talking about something else, or use a distraction action like, wow, would you look at what's outside the window? And then walk over to the window and find something fascinating to talk about. Ooh, did you see? I think the tree turned color. Or, oh, do you see the bluebird in that tree? There's a blue jay in there. Whatever it is, to get the attention off what you don't like. Now, if the swearing continues, you can absolutely say something like, hey, that's not a positive word. When you're ready to use your polite words, I'd love to continue talking with you, but move on. Do not spotlight it. Don't get into lecture mode. Get busy, start washing the dishes, start getting your coat on, do whatever you need to take the attention away. So if your kiddo is genuinely angry, this is the perfect time to do the second step, which is name it to tame it. So this is your opportunity to help your child discover what they truly are feeling, what they truly are angry about. Hey, it seems like you're really angry right now. Now they might say, I'm not angry, I'm pissed off. Really? So you're super duper angry. Tell me about it. So even my tell me about it, I'm not focusing on the swearing. I'm not reprimanding them from the swearing. I'm focusing on, oh, they're angry. Let's deal with that. Let them blow off steam. Far too often we just want to rush over the anger, and we don't give our kids enough of a voice, don't realize when they're truly hurt. The trouble is, hurt kids often hurt back, especially when they're not heard. And one of the quickest and easiest ways to remedy this is to listen, to really listen to them. So what's going on? Tell me more. The cool thing is that you often don't need to fix it or solve it. You just need to hear them out. But there's an important stubborn child warning I want you to be aware of, and it's this. In our desire to have our kids do better, we can often have them doing worse. Here's what I mean. If we make swearing, or anything else for that matter, forbidden fruit, we will often struggle more than we need to. If you say to a stubborn child, don't do, fill in the blank, most stubborn kids will translate that and hear, do that, do it now, do it well. So if you're saying, don't swear, they're like, haha, okay, let me show you. I mentioned at the very beginning that sometimes it might be an option. It might be the best option for you to let them swear. And what I mean by that is not to put rules about it, because here's the thing. If you have rules around, you can't swear, but daddy's swearing, or I'm swearing. Again, when I go back to, remember we talked about this whole strong-willed children are often righteous. They will not respect that. They will not respect you if you are also not walking your talk. If grandpa isn't, if grandma isn't, this is really important. And so talking about the rules and why that makes sense is really, really important before you can really get the behavior that you're wanting more of. And as they get older, there is a time and place where it's really cool to do it at school, or they're hearing it around them all the time and they don't even think about it and it comes out. And so this is kind of about picking your fights. If it's such an issue for you, maybe there's something that you need to deal with first to bring your own reactivity down so they don't feel it and feed right off of it. So what we've covered today is found in step 2 on my peaceful parenting path. And this is a 9-step process to get strong-willed kids to listen, respect, and love their parents more. Essentially, it is the best family calming reboot system I know. And we were really talking about living our values every day here, boundaries. What have you taken away from today? I would love to know. And if you want to learn more about how I can help you and your family to enjoy a peaceful and fun home, reach out. Come on over, join me at joyfullyparenting.com. And I invite you to get your how to get your child to listen cheat sheet and free parenting training at this site, or even below. And if you've got any questions on your stubborn child, I would love to hear them. Plus, if you know of a mom struggling with a spirited kid who pushes all her discipline buttons, please do her a favor and pass this on. I hope to see you again soon. Have a wonderful day. Bye.